cycles per second. So frequency is shown by omega upon 2 pi, and omega is 2 pi upon t. I can also write t is equal to 2 pi upon omega. Same way. We are finding different terms. Maybe you can call these also as a formula. So they are interrelated. So frequency, angular velocity, periodic time, they are related by this particular equation. Now let's move ahead. Now let us write the equation again. X equal to x sine omega t. We have written this earlier. Now, if we take a derivative of this, that means dx by dt. See, this is a function of time. X is a function of time. So you can find out dx by dt. So dx by dt, which is also called as x dot, is equal to minus x cos omega t. This is just plus only into omega. I'll write here x omega cos omega t. Now if you take the derivative again, that means d square x by dt square, also called as x double dot. Now this becomes minus x omega square sine omega t. Okay, now if we rearrange the terms, it becomes like this, minus omega square, and then I'll bring this together. Minus omega square is taken out, x sine omega t. So you will find here x sine omega t is x. So this becomes minus omega square x, which is x double dot. It is also called as d square x by dt square. So x double dot is minus omega square x. You can bring it on this side and write that x double dot plus omega square x equal to 0. X double dot plus omega square x equal to 0. This becomes a differential equation. Now this is called a differential equation. This equation is called as differential equation, and this equation is what we are going to use for analyzing the vibrations. So whenever a motion, if it is there, if you can bring that equation of the motion in this form, if you can write the equation of the motion in this form, then you can say that it is following the differential equation, and then omega square you will be equating with whatever is the term that has come here, and then omega, as we have seen already earlier, that omega t, if they are all related, omega t, rather capital T, f, they are all related. So whichever is the term over here, that term will be useful for finding out the t and f of that particular periodic motion. Okay. So now we'll take an example of a spring mass system. So we'll take an example of spring mass system. Then we'll see what happens to the spring mass system, what becomes the equation of motion, differential equation for a spring mass system. If it comes similar to this, that means x double dot plus something here into x equal to 0, if that is the form we can bring the equation, then it becomes a differential equation, and then omega square will be equated with whatever has been written over here. We will come to know when we go further and do this. So keep this in mind that this is called a differential equation, and in this differential equation the term omega square is there, and that is going to help us in finding out T and F. Okay. So now what we do is we go to the spring mass system and try to apply this equation to that. We are seeing examples of undamped free vibrations. So spring mass system is the first. Now let us see what it means. So I'll just draw a figure of a spring. Now there is a spring. Okay, we have drawn a spring, and the spring has got stiffness small k. Stiffness is shown by letter small k, and this is showing you the force per displacement. So force upon displacement, that means by what force it will be displayed by how much. Because as you know, force is, I'll write here force, and I'll write this as a deflection. So force is proportional to deflection. As you know, if you apply more force, it will deflect more. So if you apply double force, it will deflect double than earlier. So force and displacement or deflection, they are proportionate. And once this is the sign of proportionality, then you can say that it is equal to k into delta. And then k becomes F upon delta, that is called as spring stiffness. So right now there is a spring like this. Now what we do is, to this spring we attach one mass. That means once I put here mass, what will happen? This is mass m. Once I put mass m, the spring will not remain like this. It will stretch down. So I'll draw this figure such that the mass has come here, and it is displaced by delta. Displaced by delta. Now what we do further? Now in this situation, the spring is stretched by delta, but still it is stationary. It is not vibrating. After this what we do? We just stretch this further down. So I'll just bring this here. Mass is stretched by this much, x, and then released. You just stretch this much and released. This means the force is, see, I have applied some force and brought it down up to here. So after the force is applied, I'll show it like this. Some force is applied and it is brought by this much down. Now again this force is same way, it is proportional. So I should write that this force is equal to k into x. In this example, this has become F, now F becomes mg. Because of weight it has happened, so the force has got real value mg. Now here I am applying some other force F, because of which it is displaced like this. Now what happens? This will go on oscillating up and down. This will be the mean position, and with respect to this mean position, it will go x here, again go x here. So on both sides, it will keep on oscillating like this all the time. This will be oscillating forever, ideally. And now in actual practice, because of the friction, it will slow down. But in reality, if there is no friction, then this will go on oscillating like this forever. So this is becoming a case of undamped free vibration. Free vibration because it has happened because of the force existing in the system itself. What happened is, when you pulled it like this and released, that means now you are not pulled it. Your force has gone. But then, because the spring has got further extension, stretching, that spring has developed its own force. And that force has brought it back to the original position. But then it has not stopped here. Because of the velocity, it has gone further down, further up. So when it goes further up, the spring got compressed, which it doesn't like. So again it will try to come to the original position. So that will bring it here, and the motion will bring it back here. So that will keep on happening all the time, and that is shown by such kind of equation. So what we now write here is, although we write like this, here we write that force is proportional to displacement. The force which is trying to bring it back, this is called a restoring force. Restoring force is the one which is in the opposite direction. We are interested in this force. Of course, they are same, but now we are talking about this force which is there in the spring, which is trying to bring it back, is restoring force, which is proportional to displacement. Because if you displace it more, the restoring force will be also more. So restoring force is proportional to displacement, but the thing is, force is in this direction, displacement is in this direction. So it is proportional to, I should say, minus x. Restoring force is proportional to minus x. So I'll write here, this F is equal to K into minus x. So F is F plus Kx equal to 0. Maybe I'll write here. Now what is F here? F is force. We know force is shown as m into x double dot, mass into acceleration. Mass into acceleration is force. Acceleration we show by x double dot. So we can write here x double dot. So I'll write here m x double dot plus kx equal to 0. X double dot plus kx equal to 0. Therefore, x double dot plus k upon m x equal to 0. X double dot plus k upon m x equal to 0. Now if you remember, earlier we have written differential equation. We have written one differential equation like this, saying that x double dot plus omega square x equal to 0. This is a standard differential equation. The standard differential equation of motion is written like this. What equation we obtained for the spring mass system is this. So if you compare, they are same. X double dot plus something into x equal to 0. X double dot plus omega square x equal to 0. Now we know what to do with omega. Omega, as we have seen, is related to f, t, etc. So once you know omega, you can find out f and t by certain equations. So now this and this, if you compare, then you can say that omega square is same as k upon m. So I'll write here, maybe I'll write here, omega square is equal to k upon m. From this to omega square is k upon m. Therefore, omega is square root of k upon m. Now, if omega is square root of k upon m, then that will give us many different things, which I'll write here. But we have just now found out omega is equal to 2 pi upon t, but omega is 2 pi upon t. So what we write here is omega is k upon m. Therefore you can say that t is equal to 2 pi square root of m upon k. What this means? T is equal to 2 pi square root of m upon k means that periodic time, T's periodic time is equal to 2 pi square root of m upon k. That means for this spring mass system, when it starts oscillating, periodic time is, suppose it is oscillating like this. From this point it goes up and comes again to the same point. Here. That means this is one complete cycle. So it has taken capital T as the time to move from here to up and again down back. So this periodic time T, how much it is given by this equation. So if you know m, that means the mass that is connected, and if you know the stiffness of the spring, then you can find out how much time it is going to take. Similarly, what is F? F is 1 upon T. So if you take a reciprocal of all this, this becomes expression for frequency. That means how many times in 1 second. Frequency means cycles per second. So if this is vibrating, in 1 second how many times it is completing cycles, how many cycles it is completing, that is given by 1 upon 2 pi square root of k upon m. Just reciprocal of this whole thing. Okay. So what we have done is, we have written equation for spring mass system, and we have compared that equation with the standard differential equation. In the standard differential equation there is omega square term. So this omega square term we have equated with k upon m. And once we do that, we have found out the periodic time and the frequency which is applicable for the spring mass system. We can simplify this further. I will just show you further what is to be done. See, we already know that W is equal to mg. If you remember what we had done earlier, like this. This was a mass, so it has come, say, from here to here. Initially, that was a deflection delta, and this m was causing a force. We call that force as W equal to mg. So W is the weight because of this mass m and gravity g. So this is what we have initially applied. So W is mg, we can write, and at the same time we say that W is k delta. Because of this force, it is deflected. K and delta and W, they are related like this, which we have seen earlier. K is stiffness, load upon displacement. So this is the case. I can say that since K is W upon delta, we get this. So when you equate these two, you can write mg is k delta. Therefore, m upon k, what is m upon k? Equal to delta upon g. Another equation you got. M upon k is delta upon g. So if you replace this m upon k by delta upon g, then that gives you another equation which is simple to use. See why we have derived this. I'll write the same thing here. T is equal to 2 pi square root of, now instead of m upon k we write delta upon g. So we have written the time equation again, periodic time, in terms of delta upon g, and this f we write 1 upon 2 pi square root of m upon k, that means g upon delta. This is cycles per second and this is seconds, periodic time. So now see what we have done. This is the equation for periodic time and frequency. Again same periodic time and frequency, but here there is some change because of this formula. What happens is, if you use this formula, this is easy to use because in this formula there is 2, there is pi, there is g. These three things are known. What is g? G is acceleration due to gravity, which we know. So only delta is what is applicable to this equation. That means if you attach a mass, and because of this mass, suppose the spring is stretched by displacement delta, then this displacement of the spring delta you can use here in this equation, and that will give you the periodic time. You can see here we have not actually started the vibrations, but if you start the vibrations, then those vibrations will have periodic time given by this expression. If you try to use this equation, then what will happen? You can do that, but then you need to know how much is this mass. You need to know what is the stiffness of the spring, what is the property of the spring, you need to know. If you know these two things, then you can find out periodic time still. But that is not so easy. What is very easy? Attach the mass. You don't know how much is the mass. Just attach the mass. Let it be stretched. Let the spring be stretched. You measure the displacement, which is very easy to measure, how much it is displaced. Once you know the displacement, put that displacement here. Other things are known, and you can find out the periodic time. So that's why this equation is easier to use than this equation. Same way, frequency equation again, instead of k and m, we are using g upon delta. So the same case, we are using now the frequency, finding out the frequency by using the delta. So for a spring mass system, if you know the deformation, that will tell you how the spring is going to function once it starts vibrating, what are the properties of that vibration, what is the periodic time of that vibrations, what is the frequency of that vibrations, we will be able to find out. So that is how this particular exercise is carried out. So we have taken an example of undamped free vibrations. First example is spring mass system. Of course, I have not yet discussed what is undamped. Undamped, damping means absorbing. The vibrations are not absorbed by anything. They are free vibrations. They are free in the sense they are not stopped by anything. We are also saying that they will not be reduced because of friction. By friction, they are not going to. It is not going to reduce. By no other means, it is going to reduce. It will just go on and on. That is called as undamped vibrations. Free means because of the force which is there inside the system itself. So the spring has got some force inside. When you stretch the spring will try to bring it back because of the force which is there inside. So that is the free vibration. So we have taken the first example of a spring mass system, and this is the conclusion of that in this case. Okay. So